Okay, hey all. I hope so you're doing good. Hey folks, thanks for joining in today's launch event. And we are seeing so many crowd here. And yeah, so like true. Bill is with us right now. And
Yeah.
yep, hello everyone. So thanks for joining folks. If you want, do share with this link to others and join our community. We are just here to promote open source and CNCF. And yeah, I think so many folks are joining. Yeah, great. So yeah, starting with another thing. I just want to start with the introduction. So first of all, starting with Pulkit. Pulkit, you want to give your introduction? Yeah.
For sure. So, hey everyone, I'm Pulkit and I'm a 13 years old self-taught programmer. So, I have been part of various communities, around 50 plus communities and hackathons, and I'm a passionate contributor towards open source. So, it's basically like even I'm one of the lead organizer of CNCF Navi Mumbai. So, yeah, that was a brief intro about me. And like now, I would recommend Kartike if you can have your intro.
Yeah, thanks, Pulkit. So my name is Karthik Rawat, and I am a organizer at CNCF Durg. I am also a co-founder of my own local community that is developer student community, and I am been a part of many organizing team related to TFUG Chandigarh, Azure Developer Community Raipur, and I'm really passionate about some projects that quite into it. You can see in CNCF that is Thanos and Prometheus. I am starting contributing to Thanos project recently, and I totally love that project. And now I am try to give to the Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, if you want to give your intro.
So, hey everyone. Very good evening to all. Myself, Hare Krishna, currently organizer at CNCF Prayagraj, and I am also organizer at my college community and X. And I have been working as cyber security expert and uh, have been part of various communities in cybersecurity. Basically, I started exploring about open source soon. So let's welcome Bill. With, yeah.
Hey
Yeah.
everyone, I'm
So,
Bill
hey Bill.
Mulligan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, go on, go
I
on.
work, I work at the CNCF, and things that I do is help grow and expand our community. So I'm excited to be here today to talk to you about cloud native and open source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really awesome. It's a pleasure for us to like have you here. So basically, like we'll be getting with our launch event. So it's just a small step towards our big dreams to like take cloud culture in our local communities and all, right? So it's just that, and yeah, it's basically like we would love to know your journey, like how you got into CNCF, how you got into communities and all. So yeah.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm gonna wind way back to when I was in university, and I actually wasn't into computers at all or IT. I was actually doing biochemistry. So I was working with real mice instead of computer mice. So I didn't know anything about the tech industry, or really like what I wanted to do after university. So after I graduated, I knew I didn't want to work in like a research lab anymore. So I decided to go to and get my master's in social science, the internet. And there we kind of looked at different ways that people interact and engage with technology. And that was kind of like my first introduction to like technology, but also kind of like the social aspect and the community aspect of technology, and how do communities form online, and what is the interplay between the physical and the virtual world. And after that, I'd done enough schooling and I needed a real job so I could make money and, continue on with my life. So I got a job at a startup that was doing a machine learning platform on Kubernetes. I had no clue what Kubernetes was. I thought it was like, some island in Greece. And I was like, all right, great, this company, we're going to have great offsites and really cool locations. Turns out I was actually setting up Kubernetes clusters on like Windows back at like 1.8, which was like impossible. It took me like 8 hours to set up one cluster. And that was my introduction into Kubernetes and like the whole cloud native community. Since then, I've gone through a couple more startups. And actually, my first contribution to open source was actually just fixing a link in the Kubernetes documentation. So it doesn't have to start with a really big contribution. You don't need the background in tech. I'm part of that story. My first contribution was fixing one link. I didn't have a computer science degree. I didn't know anything about tech. So if I can do it, like you can do it too. It's just about learning along the way, taking advantage of all the awesome resources that are out there, meeting different people in the community, connecting with them, and learning from each other.
Absolutely correct. So yeah, it was like really awesome to know your journey and all. Like it's such an inspiring story for us. Like many folks just think like even though they are in tech, they want to like be in communities and technology and all, but they they gets demotivated. They think like they may be not like taken in the community and all, right? So it's nothing like that. You just need to get started with it. So with that, I would like to take that okay, you can take over.
So yeah, there is one question in my mind. Not for those who like I'm being a part of CNCF community for you can say about 2 or 3 months back. Kunal Kushwaha motivated me to do more. Like he's in CNCF ambassador on that end. But like many folks who didn't about cloud native stuff. Actually, Bill, if you want to explain someone what is like cloud or cloud native, or specifically I'm talking about DevOps kind of thing. Like there is a new terminology. Like many people are there in colleges. If I'm particularly talking about college students, they know web technologies, mobile development technologies. But what is DevOps? Like, can you explain to them? Like those who are watching us? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if I can do it all in one session, but I can certainly try. So actually, if you go to the CNCF website, there's actually is a definition of what cloud native is. And it's this whole really long thing about like microservices and service meshes and like minimizing toil and automation. But for a lot of people, that doesn't make sense to what them is. And it doesn't connect to what they are doing on a day-to-day basis. So the thing when I say like what actually is cloud and what does cloud native enable, it enables companies or people that are trying to achieve some business objective to be able to do it quickly, to iterate very quickly, to make changes seamlessly, and to do it with without a lot of extra effort. Now, that's at like a very high level, and it's helping companies achieve the business objectives that they're going to. And there's many different ways to implement it. I think the thing to think about cloud native is it's not one specific thing. It's not one specific way of working. It's not one specific way of doing. There's multiple ways to be cloud native, and it's ways that kind of match to those higher level principles. And what it is taking advantage or building upon the work that other people have done to minimize the workload that you have to do.
That's totally great intro on specifically talking about DevOps. And when you see CNCF as a community, what do you think? Like when there are many communities, and I'm also been a part of like Kubernetes Discord's Slack channel, and that's totally like very, very welcoming. So like when I talking to like as a community perspective, I'm talking the community is so much welcoming. But like those people who want to know actually what CNCF stuff is going on, like there are so many projects. They are also wanted to contribute, and there are so many projects. So how they can get started with it? Any tips from your end? Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're totally right. It can be overwhelming. The CNCF currently hosts over 100 different projects. And some of the biggest ones, like Kubernetes you were mentioning, have many different SIGs and working groups that you can get involved in. So like, how do you figure out where to start? And I think it goes back to like, what are you interested in? I can tell you a little bit about like my open source journey and how I got started. So the reason I made my first contribution to Kubernetes is because I was trying to figure out what it was. I was trying to learn more about the technology so that I could use it in my job. And by reading through the Kubernetes documentation, I found a broken link, and I wanted to contribute so the next person after me had the right link. And so I would say, like, get involved where it makes sense for you. I was reading through the documentation. That's where I found a place to contribute. The next place I really started contributing after that was I went to a conference. And at this conference, I learned a little bit about different telecommunications technologies and the way like telecommunications service providers are using Kubernetes and other cloud native technologies. And that was important for what I was doing in my job again, and I wanted to learn more about it. So once again, I read through all the documentation, but this time, instead of just fixing one link, I corrected all the spelling and grammar, like added different links and references to more of the documentation, and it was like a larger contribution to a bigger piece of work. And so, but once again, it was driven by what I was interested in, what I was doing, and what I needed for my job too, right? And so all this is driven by like, start contributing where it makes sense for you, where you already are, and where you want to learn more. I think the great thing about like each of these contributions is it made me dive a little bit deeper in it, helped me like actually learn what I was doing a little bit more. So as I dove into the documentation, I needed to figure out where different things were. I learned more about the technology. And then from then, I kept on getting more and more involved, started to showing up to like different working group meetings that I was interested in related to those because I wanted to learn more about them. And I eventually became like a workstream lead and transferred on to other things. So I think the biggest thing is figure out like what you're interested in. Say if you're trying to set up a blog, figure out like one way to do that, and then figure out if there's a technology that can help you do that. Start with what is relevant to you, what is important to you, because that will keep your like interest and keep driving you forwards. And there's so many different places to get involved. It doesn't just have to be one. That being said, there's two great resources that you can check out. So one is contribute.cncf.io, hosts a bunch of really great resources on how to get started contributing to the cloud native community. And the other one is k8s.dev, and that's the Kubernetes contributor like website. So those are two great places to get started if you don't know what you're interested in yet either.
So all the links I will post after this stream in the you can check out the description. I will post every link there. And just connected this question, like you talk about some conference, so it's like KubeCon, like because many people didn't know about KubeCon. So like, can you elaborate more on that? Like, what is KubeCon and like why this conference is so much hyped in cloud native stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think KubeCon is so hyped. One is because it's kind of like the one or two times a year where kind of everybody from the community gets to come together, chat, and engage with each other. And also like learn about really like the cutting edge of technology. I think everybody comes to KubeCon because they want to learn about what everybody else is doing and what's coming next. It's about the past, the friends that we have, the present, what we're doing, and the future, where we're going, where is technology going, and what projects coming out next. So KubeCon really is all of that rolled into one, and it's a great community and social event. You'll show up even if you know no one, and you'll leave with a lot of new friends and ways to get involved and ways to be inspired too. So if you haven't gone to KubeCon, I highly encourage you. If you're a student, there's also free student tickets virtually. And if you are interested in attending in person, there's also a need and diversity-based scholarships too.
So like, again, I post all the links in the description. You can check them out. Yeah, Pulkit, go on.
Yeah. So basically, you mentioned such a great point. Like getting started is like how you want to use it and like how you want to get into it, right? So even I have an example of my own. I like contributed in Slate.js. It's basically one of the one of the best repositories I have ever seen. But yeah, it's basically like even I got started with contributing in the documentation part. So like I just changed the grammatical mistakes in it and all. So it's such a great point you mentioned it. So with that, yeah, Hare Krishna, do you have some questions for Bill?
Yeah, just I wanted to add that documentation part is very much necessary, and if we are contributing to that, then it's a great contribution also. But obviously it's not that much great, but for readers it's a very essential part who are starting into that technology. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so people are really hyped up there and the chat section about Bill OP. So Bill, I have another question related to miracle. Most of the, you can say, beginners, when they see they know some of the project like Kubernetes, that is totally one of the biggest open source project out there. But there are many, you can say, people also, projects also, they want to contribute, but it seems like they have based on some architecture and it's totally revert back to the Kubernetes only. So can you give any tips for those people, they are asking in the community, Kubernetes is awesome, but I have to also contribute in Prometheus, but the architecture is inspired from Kubernetes, so we have to directly redirect to the Kubernetes only. So if you want to give any tips for them, yeah.
So you're asking, so people that want to contribute to a project different than Kubernetes, but are always being preferred back to Kubernetes. Is that correct?
Actually seen is that when we're talking about Prometheus, so Prometheus architecture inspired from Kubernetes in some and another way. So they are saying we want to contribute in Prometheus in form of coding contribution, but it seems to be like a inspiration from Kubernetes. So we have to jump to the Kubernetes directly to understand the whole architecture. So is there any tips from your end? Yeah.
The biggest tips from my end, if you're trying to understand things, is first read through the documentation. Like I said before, that's the first way I get involved, because I think it gives you a really good understanding of the architecture of how things work and how things have been built. Another thing, if you're trying to understand, I think a great thing about open source is because everyone is distributed around the world. Most things have to be asynchronous, and so a lot of things are written down. You can go look at design documents that are 5 years old from the beginning of Kubernetes, why they made certain design decisions, the trade-offs that had to happen when they're doing one thing versus the others. And I think it's a great source of reference material about how you can understand different how different trade-offs were made. And you can look at those when trying to understand what you want to do. If you dig back through either the GitHub issues or a lot of Google Docs that are around the Kubernetes community, you can learn about what kind of decisions people had to make in the past, and learn that and use that as you're going forwards, and even contributing to other projects. I think the great thing is about tech in general is so much is produced, so much is written down, and you can access it at any time. There's the shout out to Kunal, who's putting out a bunch of great content that's available to you all the time. Everything on GitHub is available to you all the time. I learned about the tech industry by watching YouTube and reading blog posts. And so if you're trying to learn more, there's always usually a resource that's just a Google away.
Okay, so there is also one more question from community only. We are interacting someday in Discord, and can we get any opportunity while contributing in cloud native stuffs or cloud native projects? So can we get any opportunity through like an internship kind of thing or any kind of job? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So CNCF loves to have new people come into the open source community. So we host a variety of internship programs throughout.
I guess there is some issue at
It's
Bill's.
on Bill's side. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Let me see.
Just let's do one thing. Bill, if you are able to listen us, just try to rejoin. So till that time, it's better if
Till
we
Bill
can
is
continue
joining,
with the open
folks, if you have
source.
any doubt regarding CNCF, you want to know, any question, if you are having, do post in the chat section. We will bring out and ask from the Bill also. Till Bill is joining. Yeah.
All right. So just
So we were
as I
discussing.
mentioned,
Yeah.
please check the chat once. We have shared all the links, even the
Yeah.
KubeCon scholarship one, and apart from that, that creates.dev and contributes CNCF.dev, etc. Yeah, so
Finally,
Bill is
Bill is here.
back.
Bill is here. Yeah, Bill is back.
Sorry, so sometimes your internet just goes out in the middle of the stream.
Yeah.
Note you on that, Bill. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, what question were we on? I got.
Opportunities, internship and jobs kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So CNCF runs mentorship opportunities 4 times throughout the year. Each one of them is 3 months, and you get paid to contribute to an open source project, and you get set up with a mentor. These are really great ways to get involved in different projects, gain experience coding, and gain feedback from an experienced mentor in the open source community. I highly encourage people to check it out. The application for fall mentorships are going to be opening fairly shortly. I know Ihor, I just saw him add a bunch of things today of projects that have submitted to have an intern for the fall. So if you go out to the mentorship repo under CNCF on GitHub, then you can find all the details there. And I know a lot of people that have used that to both gain more experience, but then a lot of them have actually been hired after too. Because another great thing about these mentorship programs is that you get to interact and engage with people in the community. And they're already working at companies, and those companies are always looking to hire more great cloud native engineers. And so as you build experience, you also gain kind of a resume you can show to apply to internships at those companies or be hired on full time. Like one really good example actually is Nikita. She began originally as an intern working on the CNCF project under Stefan Szymanski at Red Hat. And then she gained more and more experience. Eventually she ended up on the Kubernetes steering committee where she was my coworker, and then got hired over to VMware too. So it's a great way to progress through the community also.
That's totally great. And just want to add one thing, folks, if you have any doubt regarding anything regarding CNCF, or if you KubeCon also, do pin down in the chat section. We will bring you out, and we'll have we'll answer those questions. And till then, Pulkit and Hari, if you have any question regarding my bucket is always full to talk with Bill on that end. But yeah, if you have any question, you can go on. Yeah.
Yep. So let me take first. So first of all, my question is, I know such a bad question, but yeah, it's my question. Like, why you got into CNCF only? Like, there are such many orgs like CNCF community and all, and why others should only join CNCF community, and like they shouldn't join like they should only specifically join a CNCF community that can help in CNCF projects and all. Like there are so much of bunch stuff going on, right? Apart from just CNCF, there are so much things even for DevOps and all, right? So why CNCF and CNCF community? That's my question.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first thing to say about communities is, for most people, it's not just one or the other. I see them, a lot of communities, as a whole bunch of overlapping and interlinking circles. And so some people that you work with in a certain community are also going to be in different communities than you. So for example, I can tell you, I was first started in the cloud native community. Then I started to switch a little bit into the telecommunications and open source community, actually under the Linux Foundation networking. So a different open source community. And then what the work I was doing there overlapped with more of what I was doing in CNCF. So then I went back more into CNCF. And so I wouldn't say there's one community is better than the other. You're going to meet lots of great people in different communities, and a lot of them will overlap with each other. So as you're working on, say, Kubernetes, it might overlap into another community that you have, hosting WordPress on top of Kubernetes, and you want to figure out how to host your blog on Kubernetes. Then suddenly you're also linking up with the WordPress community. And so, right, the cool thing about open source and these communities is you can be a part of multiple. It's not, I can only be part of one or only be part of the other. I think that's the great thing, is you can meet lots of great people along the way. And with that, why I really like the cloud native community, I think goes back to what we were talking about before, is it's such a welcoming, open, and friendly environment. Like, people are there to help you. They want to see you achieve and do well on whatever path you're taking through life. And I think that's kind of unique in a lot of places. And so I would say everyone that I've met has been very open. And I think a lot of the progress that I've made is because of those people. Actually, the person who merged my first PR into Kubernetes, just fixing the documentation in the website, I later met him at a conference. I didn't know it was actually him. We actually became really good friends, and he actually just told me he got married. So you never know who you're going to meet along the way, but there'll be a lot of great people. And that's why I love working in the cloud native community.
Absolutely correct. And yeah, I would recommend everyone to join CNCF community as I just really love its, the whole culture about CNCF and all these things, right? So
Yeah,
I know I'm talking a lot, and like Hare Krishna, I will give you a chance, but let me just take my questions, one or two questions more. All right. So it's basically
okay.
like,
So
does CNCF have any
yeah,
other programs specifically for students and all, like mentorship and fellowship type program and all?
Yes, the biggest one is the
yes,
mentorship
yes.
program we already talked about. There's more programs in the work for students coming out, but I don't want to spill all the details yet. But look forward to some announcements.
All right, all right. So I would just like to take the questions of Hare Krishna. So yeah, Hare Krishna, you can take up the stage now. I hope I am
So
audible to all.
yeah. So I just wanted to ask, CNCF has multiple projects, like you mentioned, it has 100+ projects upcoming. So how a noob can start from contributing, like which he can select to contribute, he or she can select to contribute first time if they want to contribute to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the easiest way to get started contributing is through documentation. Like I said, right? Because anybody can read the documentation, and there's always things to be fixed, like the grammar, the links, whatever else. And it's a great way to begin to know more about the project. Like I said, a lot of the ways that I learned about things was reading through blog posts or reading through documentation. So as things are written down, a great way to get started contributing is to dig through the documentation, or maybe even write your own blog post about your experience. It's a great way to say, hey, I tried out this project and this is what I learned from it, and maybe some other people can learn from it too. Also, you don't have to think of like contribution as, oh, it only counts if it's in GitHub. There's many different ways to contribute to the community. There's many ways of non-code contributions to the community too, whether it's like tweeting about like things that you learned, showing up to events like this, talking with like other people. Those are all ways to contribute and to grow and expand the community too.
Yeah. So like
Okay,
it's
so
really awesome to hear you, right? So now we have got some questions from our
some question
attendees,
from
right?
attendees. So there is
Yeah.
first question from
So it's
Anshuman. That is, can I
yeah,
have
you
some
can check it.
insights on different kind of CNCF projects such as graduated, incubated, and more, and how's that's different from each other?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So at CNCF, we have 3 different levels of projects. So there's sandbox, there's incubating, and graduated. And the reason that we came up with this is because we found that we were hosting so many different projects under the CNCF umbrella. We wanted to kind of find a way for companies and people to understand the relative maturity of all the projects, and whether this is something that was very experimental or something that was very tested, like battle proven, and had been used in production a lot. And how could they understand the differences? And so that's kind of what the different stages are. The sandbox projects are the experimental, the cutting edge projects that are, we don't know if they will work or they won't, but CNCF is providing kind of a neutral home for experimentation and collaboration between different companies. Now, the next stage after that is the incubation phase. And the incubation phase is projects that are starting to show promise. They've graduated from the sandbox to incubating, and they've started to have some adopters. They're starting to have contributors from multiple different companies. They're starting to gain more experience, more standardization within their community, and more policies and ways to handle things. So things like having a documented security practice, having maintainers lists, and how they do governance in their projects. So there's multiple different ways to multiple different things you need to be in incubating. And then the graduated projects are the most mature. These are the projects that kind of have the stamp of approval from CNCF that these are ready for production. They've shown wide use in production across the industry. They have a good governance model. They're a sustainable project, and it's something that you could put into production and feel fairly confident about.
Okay, so there is one more question. I think so. I think so. You answered, but like if you want, like, can I join the community as a non-coding participant?
Yeah, absolutely. And we love to have non-coding participants. In fact, I've actually never contributed any code to any open source project. So I'm the prime example of a non-coding participant. You can absolutely do that. And as I said before, there's many different ways to contribute, whether that's writing things, fixing the documentation, translating things into different languages, organizing events, meeting up with people. There's many ways you can contribute without writing any code.
Also, there is one more nice question. Does CNCF support student-run hackathon in any way?
So we strongly encourage people, if they want to try out projects in like student hackathons. I think that's a great way to gain experience with like different projects. Yeah, I think there's lots of opportunities for collaboration between CNCF and different types of hackathons that want to try out things, try out different projects. I know like a lot of projects you could look at like good first issue labels and seeing what you can put together to figure out like easy issues. And that's an easy way to start getting contributing to a project too.
So there is one more question, like it's related to Movi, like how to join the community. So for me, what I can explain according to me, all the links of the community is in the description. You can check them out. And if you want to join as a project in a project community specifically, so there is all Slack channel are included on the you can see Kubernetes website, or you can see CNCF website. You can check it out. Also, you can go there to GitHub. You can all get the all access of the mailing list, so you can join there too. And or if you want to join more community specifically, KubeCon is coming. You can join virtually there as a student, so you can get network with amazing people who are working on different projects, or you can say meet the moderators or admin who are working for that particular project. So you can also interact with that. So that will be my answer. But yeah, Bill, if you want to add something more on it, so yeah, that will be great.
No, I think that's a great summary of different ways that you can get involved. So I don't have anything else to add.
Yeah, for now, I think so. There is no more question. Pulkit and Hare, if you have any question in your bucket, yeah, you can ask on that.
Yeah, I was asking about. I was just curious about which one of your projects, CNCF projects, are favorite one, like close to heart kind of thing.
So, which ones do I like the best?
Yeah, just
So, as a CNCF employee, we can't have favorites, but the ones that I think are cool is one, Kubernetes, just because that's the first project that I contributed to. I got to know a lot of really awesome people in the community, and that really started like my whole cloud native journey. The other one is SoundCloud, and it's actually because it's from Berlin, which is actually where I live. So it's kind of cool that there's a project coming out of I guess my hometown. Those are probably two really cool ones. And there's also a lot of great people that I've gotten to work with on both projects, but you don't have any favorites.
That's awesome. Okay.
Pulkit, do you have any question in your bucket? Anything?
Let me think. So, not really right now. Like, Bill has included so much of stuff that I can't like have more questions now. But let's see.
Yeah, also for adding one more thing, like CNCF student community recently started for all the students. So they are starting with every basic, like we also cover as a local chapter, we also start with very basic like containerization, Dockerization kind of stuff. But if you also want to follow them, because CNCF student bringing a great content specifically on the, when we're talking about the containerization part, or you can say when we are talking about different features that involved in any DevOps service specifically. So you can also follow them. And many ambassadors are doing CNCF ambassador for India, specifically Kunal is here. You can follow them. So like he can bring out more stuff on that end. But yeah, that's just want to add one more thing. And is there, and I think so there's no more question. Let me check from again at the top. Like I'm left not left any. Okay. Yeah, all questions are answered, I think so. And yeah, Pulkit, I think so. There is no more question. Yeah, if you want, you can add one more thing if you want to add something. Yeah, like I am ended. Like I am also for a book. I have full of question as like if I'm talk with Bill in someday in one-on-one, but like I have another level of questioning and saying. But for the sake of the session, if you want to add something, so yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I would like to just add like how people ask how we can contribute in CNCF and CNCF projects, right? So here, I guess Anshuman has shared a very great tip. A star to CNCF project is also a contribution towards community, right? So when we talk about contribution is also a way like if you are using any of the CNCF projects, even that is a contribution. Even it's like when you are sharing some info about that project or specific technology, even that's a contribution. And yeah, this star part is even contribution. And apart from this, like you can even contribute in the coding part as well as the documentation part. Like if we talk about documentation specifically, it's something like documentation will surely have some, at least some part of documentation will surely have some grammatical mistakes and all. So yeah, even at that end we can contribute. And there are so much of ways of contribution, like even contributing in CNCF community specifically helps you in contributing towards CNCF only, right? So that was one of my add-on. So yeah, Bill, like you have something like for
Just want to add one more
as
thing.
add-ons. Yeah.
Every contribution matter, even though it's non-coding contribution doesn't matter. Like it's not like that. If I've never done a coding contribution, it's not like a contribution. It's really matter for if you are trying. It's not like that. If you are advocating, that's also a contribution. If you're advocating, suppose you see one session in suppose CNCF Durg on, you can say Docker specifically on talking about, or you can say Kubernetes kind of thing. Okay, so if you can advocate in form of like writing blogs, writing a Twitter thread on it, tagging others folks who are like who listen that particular speaker, tagging your community, that's also a great contribution, because many people are get to know about that. Yeah, this community exists and this community doing so awesome stuff on the cloud native stuff. So you can do many contribution in many ways. It's not like that. Yeah, there is a like a very hype of kind of thing. Like if you are coder, you have to be in coding contribution. You can't do non-coding because it doesn't really matter. That's in my mind in when I'm starting my freshman year in my college. So like I have to do only coding and nothing else. But it's not like that. You have to you if you are seeing as a contributor, you are doing in a many different ways. It can be documentation. It can be writing tests related to that particular project. So you can start with anything. And for if you want to join community, again there is a question. So you all the links in the description, you can check them out. And for the main, if you want to join the main community, you can search it on the Google. You can get or after this session, I will ping all in the description. You can check them out. So yeah, I think so. We are in the end of the launch event, and thank you, Bill, for giving so much time for
Yeah.
us and to be a
Yeah,
part
so
of this.
Kartikeya, just a minute.
Yeah.
I guess we have got one or two question, I guess. So first
Okay.
one is from
Oh, sorry, sorry, sorry,
Anshuman.
sorry,
That
sorry.
is,
Yeah, there is
any
one more.
insights on
Yes.
different pillars, basically fire towards DevOps?
Um,
Yeah, Bill.
yeah. I'd have to see which pillar specifically you're referencing. I think there's multiple different ways to do DevOps, and I would say it's a culture. It's how you do it. It's not a thing. It's not a point. It's not a person. It's a culture about bringing the dev and the operations closer together.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Also, there is
the
one more
things
great
are,
point that Sanskriti added here is like that writing a key takeaways about a session that you attended not only helps you but also others to get to know about that particular subject or topic. That's
Absolutely.
you are doing contribution that and also yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
yeah,
So I
So
hope so.
a
There's
good
no.
ways somebody could get started would be to write up their takeaways from this session, how to get involved in this community, where people can get started, and the different links about from the session that other people can do it. So if people weren't able to attend or don't have time to watch it, they could just look through the blog post and get the same takeaways from the session.
Okay, so yeah.
yeah, such a great point. And these things remembered me one thing that I got to know through Kunal Kushwaha. So he mentioned one thing that is basically, even blogging is just for you. Like when you blog, it's first of all for you, then it's for the, like, you are making some time, like you are making something like a notes for you, which can you refer for your future preference, right? So these things are really great. Like I was not really aware about CNCF specifically.
I think so.
You
Pulkit.
lost them.
No, yeah. Pulkit has a network issue maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a okay. I think so. Pulkit is back. I think so. Let me add him back. Yeah.
Really sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So basically I was just telling that, uh, you know uh, like I was not really into CNCF, I guess around before 2 to 3 months. But after I got to know it through one of the sessions from Kunal Kushwa, and it's basically even that it's basically even all my contribution towards any of the projects are first have been started from just documentation and like changing grammatical mistakes, and also like you can start from really basic, not even including coding part and all. So one of my key takeaways was this one. And yeah, like Kartikeya, you can take up the stage now.
Yep, I will say try to be more collaborative, work with team. It's not like it's not a competition, folks. You are here to learn something in community. Like I see many people who are doing so much in a competitive way. Competitive way in form of contribution is good, but it's not very healthy with community. If you are doing competition with in the community people, that's not possible because when we are collaborating with each other, we are sharing the learnings with each other. Suppose I know something about maybe Kubernetes, you know something about Thanos project, so we can take when we collaborate with on that particular thing, so we can share our learnings. So this will increase our learning as both of them, specifically in talking about on that end. And open source, I can say I didn't get an internship before I starting open source, and when I get started open source, I got great opportunity. I like an number of opportunity through open source only. So because open source has an ability to proof of work, that's you can say a concept of proof of work where you can show your work. Because in internship, I think so there is not a, you can say, a total key to share your work when you're working in a startup, because it's kind of a private thing, you can say. But in open source, everything is open, everything is in your profile, what commit you have done, what PR you have done, what PR you have merged, so all things will be available on GitHub. So that will be my keyword. Just try to be more friendly in community. Community will give you 10x time. If you contributed about x time, you will get 10x time that what I experience about, you can say, past 3 years, that what I'm contributing in community, and I get so much back. Like it can be like I am working in TensorFlow JS, if I'm talking about. So I selected in this year. So like that's the point. I'm contributing the community in like about 2 to 3 years, and I got great in terms of, you can say, times when I'm saying like if I get X, you will get 10 times X back. So that's the whole thing. And yeah, Hare Krishna, if you want to add something, anything else, yeah.
Yeah, just open source community is great. I have been in this community for nearly 3 months. I am so much new, but I am experiencing so much, and I am also so much excited about this because the community is so much helping about all. Yeah, open sourcing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's basically like open source is such a great thing, you know. Like we have also talked about DevOps and all, but now some points about open source as well. Like yeah, there were some points, but you know, so basically open source was something that was really awesome happened to me. And you know, even though it was something for like happened for everyone, that was like hacker rank was recruiting for some of the folks through GitHub profiles, right? So in which I was even like asked to join them, but due to my age that happened. So it's basically like, you know, the things are open source is just, you know, a way of contributing towards a thing that you were using in past or maybe using right now. Like, you know, like we are using currently YouTube for live stream and all stuffs, right? So maybe we may get a chance to contribute in like YouTube, apart from all the other projects, right? So it's something really awesome. And it's like if your projects like PRs gets merged, it really it's such a great appreciation you get. Like I was just in, like I was in the mood of having some party and all, you know, when my first PR was merged and all. So so yeah, Bill, like some few last words you would like to have now.
You're welcome in the cloud native community. We would love to have you, and any contribution you can or will do counts. There is no perfect way to get started, and so we're happy to have you.
Yep, I think so. Even the question have, I think so, covered. All questions are covered. Yeah, Pulkit, I think so. Yeah, all things are done, I think so. If you want to add something more, Pulkit,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, so with that, you know, let's we had so much of stuffs regarding these things and all. Let us have some upcoming announcements of our community as well, right? So it's basically like tomorrow we are going to have a session with Bart. Everyone knows him. He's also a CNCF ambassador. So you know, and like we are surely gonna have some awesome content in upcoming days. Like we'll surely have some mentorship and like something like fellowship programs as well upcoming. So yeah, let's you should just need to be active as much as possible in the community. And yeah, that's all. Like we'll be having so much of great content, you know, with great folks such as Bill, who is here right
Yep.
now. So you know, it's
I
such a
already
pleasure
I
for
gave
us.
a nickname to the, you can say, Bart specifically. That is, he is an Eminem of CNCF. I already given a tag because like he also do some rapping stuff. That's why.
He's
Yeah.
extremely cool, you know, a great guy.
Yep. And also, like, folks,
Yeah,
if you want, you can also follow that community, DOK community, Data on Kubernetes community.
yeah,
That is also totally focused on this cloud native stuff. So you can also follow them. And yeah, share love,
yeah.
share, collaborate
Specifically
with
on,
each
you know,
other. Yeah.
data on Kubernetes stuffs. You can surely take that up.
Yep.
So it's basically like there are bunch of communities, you know, just you just need to find it up. It's nothing like community is gonna come up to you and like tell join me. It's nothing like that. It's just up to you in what thing you want to get into. And like if you really wanna help someone and like even help yourself through helping others, right? So it's basically like that. So there are bunch of communities apart from these three that are hosting this launch event. We don't really recommend to just join our community and not others. There are much bunch of communities there are. So it's just like join the communities you want to be in. All right. And basically it's like I guess CNCF communities are almost in many of the local communities, and if there aren't, you can surely like apply for being a lead organizer and organizing one community in your locality, right? So yeah, that's all, so that was some of the points I wanted to include. And with that, I guess we should even take up the folks that are helping us behind the scenes, our team members.
Yeah.
So, yep. Let me bring Sanskriti on the stage to share the like we done not a session, but we are just working on a social media handle to promote the CNCF and what is actually CNCF. So she can share our insights on that. Sanskriti, I am audible. Let me know. Maybe.
Hello,
Hi, Sanskriti.
hello everyone. Hello, Bill. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
audible, Sanskriti. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to
Um,
share your journey in CNCF Durg, or if you want to share anything about CNCF community, do share. Yeah.
yes. So everything started with a tweet that CNCF did, and that directed me to their website. I registered for the launching event that happened for San Francisco, and there it was a long event, but it was so cheerful, and they were so welcoming. Everything was explained in detail by every speaker out there. And that also leaded me to get my first swag that I got as a giveaway. It was really very wonderful, that melted my heart. And then I browsed more about the projects that I can contribute to, can be a part of different communities. Then this leaded me to the data of Kubernetes. I joined the Slack channel. There is a beginners question section there where you can ask anything about, and they are always welcoming and happy to answer your questions that are relevant enough to answer. And they don't judge you. The best part is that they don't judge you on what a level of question you ask. Also, it's always lovely to connect everyone with everyone there. I have seen many of the familiar faces working at most of the organization, and they are a part of CNCF, so I learn more and more from them. So that's how the journey is being. And it's always cheerful to work on the projects that is CNCF. I'm reading the documentation. I know I'm in the initial stage, but I'm in my way to contribute more and more. The consistency is the thing that is required, and I'm maintaining it. So I hope that my PR get merged soon. And yes, that's it.
Thanks, Sanskriti. That's totally awesome. Like we are here to like promote more people, like more early stage people who get into, specifically student who get into community to start contributing in open source. And yeah, I think so. I think there's no more people out there. Yeah, I think so. Again, Pulkit has got network issue. So so yeah, I think the Pulkit is back. Maybe yeah, Pulkit is back.
So one thing I want to mention here is like
Pulkit, are you
basically
there?
everything that. Hello, am I audible now?
Maybe let
Yes,
me
you're
check.
audible.
All
Okay,
Yes.
right,
Yeah.
all
okay.
right.
So
So
yeah,
basically,
for yep.
I was
So
just mentioning uh, yeah, so I was just mentioning that all these things are just coming from our heart and our experiences, that we had with CNCF specifically. So nothing, there was nothing like a script and all. We just all the questions, all the discussion and everything just came through our experiences and like heart and all the experience with CNCF specifically, right? So yeah, Kartike, now you can continue.
So yeah, so there is actually Bill has another meet, so he has to go to there. So like thanks Bill for joining in our launch
Yeah,
event. That's totally appreciated. That's totally
yeah,
appreciated.
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks everyone. I'm super excited to see this community grow. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. So yeah, folks, we are in the end of the meet and we shared our experiences. I hope so. You join our community. All the community links are in the description. Do join every community if possible. If you want to join other communities, if you are facing any problem, do tag me Pulkit Hari on their Discord server so that they can help you out on that end. And join a chapter specifically. Join a chapter. Go
Yeah.
right now and join a chapter, folks,
Yeah.
and you will have got everything. We also starting a newsletter from CNCF only because CNCF gave on that end, and I hope so. One wonderful guy is here that is our one bros and one of the co-organizer, Anshuman, aka Aminos.
Mm.
I think there is another network issue maybe, but yeah,
And I would like to add that there is no any kind of limitation to join the communities. So you can join as many as you want to gain more knowledge on that. So just join.
yep. Thanks to all those who are joined till now, and thanks Mukul. We are doing all for you and for the community specifically. And I hope so you can all start your own community in your own local area to promote more open source culture and community culture in your region. That's what we want. We want India's you can say community driven country. That's what we can say on that end. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think so. Maybe Aminos is here. Let me bring Aminos on the.
Hey,
Hi.
hello everyone. Yay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Minos.
finally we are here, the OG of open source. Hi, I mean, I was in CNC specifically.
Yeah, hello. I think the session is quite, informative to the guys, students, the folks outside. Hope this, session bring a lot of changes and lot of the commits the people has gone through. And I actually, on the chat section, I just to mention everything. And yeah, it's a great meet.
Yep, and I totally loved it, and I hope so. Yeah, thanks Samir, thanks Saket, and yeah. Okay, so like I also adding the CNCF projects. If you like CNCF project links, if you want, you can check that out. I will ping in some moments, in the description box. You can check them out after the stream, and yeah, I think so. It's posted, so yeah, you can check that out, folks. And if you have any doubt regarding, or we can end in about 5 to 10 minutes. We are here to solve your doubts. You can say if you have any. And again, I'm saying all the links in the description. Start following us, and all you can see on that end. And yeah, that's what till now. And if Aminos want to share anything regarding CNCF, how's the layer 5 community specifically? Like if you want to share anything, Aminos.
Yeah, obviously. I just ping the, this landscape link to the chat. If anyone has go to this, then definitely they reached out to the 5 pillars that we are talking about. The 5 pillars, if you are here and doesn't know about this, so the 5 pillars are basically CI/CD and the observability and the orchestration part, the service mesh part, and the database part. So you can go through this landscape and find different types of projects. And if you want to contribute in any of this, then sure, just like to bring this up to you and stay with the community, stay with the PR, stay with the issues. Yeah, you like to work on. Yep. Anything like to the anecdotes to the Pulkit or Kartike? Any anecdotes to you guys? Do you have any closures for the folks outside?
Like I just want to say one thing. You can say start. It's not like that. If you want to join our only, like Pulkit has said earlier many times, like it's not like join only our community. join many communities. They are doing awesome stuff specifically, and the communities are here to help you. But they can only help you if you go there. If you didn't go there and if you just joined and just side off, you can say there. I see many folks who join Discord server, but they are not active. Then you can't extract the whole resources of the community. Community has so much to give you, but only if you're active in that particular server or if you're in that particular community, you will get great opportunity. It can be from the internship to job. I see many people who are they are just active in community and they got great internship. I just want to give some shout out, specifically Nivedita, who is really who a contributor at Kubernetes, and he get an opportunity in one of the CNCF project as an intern. So you can also got just be active in community. You can scroll down Instagram every time. It's okay to scroll down your Instagram, and but yeah, try to focus more on the, I will say more on focus on the Twitter, because Twitter, all developer community are in the Twitter. And if you want, try to be active on also LinkedIn. Also, you got many great folks. Like you can get the if I'm talking about layer 5 community, that I didn't know about layer 5 community. I got from the only aminos through aminos only. And I see, and when I joined, I see there is a lovely project working on that in the specifically in the measuring ad. So you can got great insight. Just be active. Everyone come to an place. You didn't have to go to any to say like I want an internship, I want a job and internship came to you. Just try to be active in community, try as much as a contribution, and everything will come to your place. Yeah, I just want to add, yeah, this thing only.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, I would like to include some of the, resources from you can join communities specifically, not specifically, like any of the communities. So first is Twitter, like as Karthike mentioned. Then even LinkedIn is there. Then Discord, one of the most famous one, and like even Discord or Slack, any one of them, like depending upon the community. So these two are there. Then after that, even there are some other platforms you can join through. I know one of the, I guess, Communal, that is one. Then like there are various platforms, you just need to research on it. It's nothing like the community gonna come to you. It's just like you need to go to community. Like no one is gonna like bring tell you like come here, I will help you out. You need to
Yep.
ask like I need some help, right? So just like that. And communities, even though there are some part where you may get demotivated, but just ignore those stuffs, right? You can just continue with what empowers your learning and all, right? So yeah, that was one of the point I wanted to include.
Actually, I want to say one more thing. Pulkit has forgot one of the biggest, you can say, platform. That is GitHub. GitHub is also a community.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
also a social media developer. So be
yeah.
active in be active on GitHub. Do follow great folks, and you can say, I'm not saying follow me, but follow those who are doing so much awesome thing, in specifically in the open source, or those who are working on the projects. Do follow them, and you will get great insights. And yeah, do follow other projects, you can say repository. You can get into it every time you will get start. So GitHub is one of the thing that you left out. And yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, so I all the Discord link I will ping
With
down
that,
after.
I would like to include.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go on. I will.
No, I'm just saying I will ping all
All
the
right.
Discord
So
links. If it is not added till now, I will add all the Discord link after the session, because in StreamYard there's a problem. I have to, after the end of that, I only can edit that. So when I'm doing multiple stream, Pulkit had know that part. So yeah, that's why. Yeah, Pulkit, you can carry on.
yeah, so basically, I was just don't take it as a promotion, but like I'm just sharing as a resource, even though I have created it. So basically, I'm on the series of open source for everyone right now. So it's currently basically just a type of repository which can help you with getting into more into open source stuffs. You can take it open source communities, open source projects, open source, loyalty and all. So yeah, Karthike, it would be great if you can share that. You already do that. All right. So you can just check that link, and I'm damn sure that it will help you out. It's like I've researched a lot on like making this content. So just take it as a resource, not as a promotional content, All right. All right then. So let's see if we have some questions. questions right now. Like we are ready to help you all out right now.
Uh,
So let us do one thing. Kartike, I guess if you are speaking, your mic is off.
Oh, sorry. So this first time I had done that, like I never do that. But yeah, I just saying, I again post the landscape link. So if you want, you can check that out. That's also an awesome thing. And yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. We are in the end of the stream. And if Hari, if you want to add something, if you have anything, if you want to add, go for it, bro.
yeah, just I wanted to say that just be active in the community, and it really helps a lot when you become active. Just participate in the communities, just to volunteer some communities and all. Just start with that only, so that makes a flow to contribute towards this. Yeah.
Yeah, great point, Hare Krishna. It's basically like such a great point. You just need to get started, and then the things will get to happen. You don't need to
Okay, I think so. We
be
are in the
worried
end
about it.
section, and yep. So I think so. We are in the end of the session. Thanks, folks, for joining, and I hope so. I will see you in the community to do awesome stuff for in specifically in open source or different kind. And if you want to join a core team, like specifically, CNCF Durg almost have like a big team, but if you want to join like specifically Navi Mumbai team or you can say Prayagraj team, so
Yeah,
it's like open till now. So yeah,
yeah.
also I will see like if you want to join in the Durg also, if I got some seat because my team has totally filled up with 10 to 15 people and they are working on social media handle. That's why it can be possible. But yeah, you have a great opportunity to be connected in the core team of the CNCF Navi Mumbai and CNCF Prayagraj. Go for it and do awesome stuff for the community. That's what we want from you all. So yeah, so then I think so. I'm
Absolutely.
ending this
Basically,
meeting
there's one thing I
and
want to include here.
yeah,
If
yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
has the stream ended, I can see live.
No,
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 it's
no.
not ended. Not ended.
It's
Yeah.
not ended.
So yeah, bye everyone till that time.
Bye. Bye. Like
Bye,
I
everyone.
thought
Thanks
was
for
going to say
joining.
something very important. No,
Do
it's okay. It's
lots.
okay. So see ya. So see ya, folks.
Yeah, yeah.